Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Streams of Income. This is your host, Ryan Rieger, and I'm excited. I guess I always say this every time. I'm excited about this one, but this one I am. These guys have an awesome story. It kind of ties into how I got my start when I met Jim Cockrum. I know we're going to talk about relationships and how that plays a huge part in business. We're going to talk about some print-on-demand stuff where you can actually have imagine t-shirts, for example. You can have those online with sayings on there and never have inventory. So if that type of business interests you, listen to this episode. We're chatting with Stephen and Nate Hibbert. Guys, real quick, you can get my book Streams of Income for free at streamsofincomeradio.com, along with all the past episodes. This show is actually a podcast too. You can listen on demand at streamsofincomeradio.com and get my book for free there as well. So guys, thanks for joining me. What's up?
Thank you for having us.
Hey.
Excited.
Cool. So you guys have an awesome story, and how I met you is really neat. I know a lot of you guys in the audience know how I got started and how I met Jim Cockrum, how Jim had an auction on eBay for his book, 101 Free Marketing. I won that and got to spend 2 hours with him at lunch back in 2012. And so I hosted a similar auction 2 years ago for my brother and sister-in-law run an orphanage in Antigua, Guatemala, and I wanted to raise money for that. So I approached Jim Cockrum, Brett Bartlett, a few other friends of mine, and said, I want to raise some money for this, my brother and sister-in-law's orphanage. And I gave away, I think we gave away the Proven Amazon course and maybe a couple of my books. And Stephen won it. So Stephen, I'll let you tell the story because it's really cool, and how you reach out to me and how we become friends, and I become friends with Nate and your family. So go.
That story, when you told it, really resonated with me. I do not remember the first time I heard it, but I heard you say it a few times. I think I met you at a conference probably 5 years ago before you had the auction. And I was like, oh, I want to be more a part of this. We were kind of selling as a side hustle, as a lot of other things that we were doing. And private label at the time is what you were pushing. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting to me. I want to learn to do that. So I prayed a lot about the auction. I remember talking to my brother, my wife, my mother, and just saying, is this right for us? We're doing a lot of things. Money is kind of tight because it's always tied up in inventory. Should we take some of that during this busier time and go after this auction? So we all agreed. We went after it. I remember it seemed like every 20 minutes checking in on the auction to see if I won it because I was so excited. And as soon as I won it, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Reach out to you and pull the same thing you pulled.
Right. Because I think, I offered a consulting call, correct? Yeah. And the same thing that Jim offered, which was a call. And so my parents live close to Jim, and I thought, hey, if I could fly up there and meet him, that'd be better than a phone call. And you did the same thing because you have family or you have friends in Arlington.
I felt like a mastermind. I was like, oh, this is going to work out. And then I remember talking to you and say, hey, we're actually coming out to Dallas to a friend's house. I'm pretty sure that's where you live. Is it possible we can sit down? And I think it was the same thing. You offered maybe a 30-minute hour call, and we sat down for 2-3 hours at lunch.
Yeah, we had 3-hour lunch. Yep. Yeah. Wow. So cool. And that started off our friendship. So talk about what you were selling on Amazon and all that beforehand, right? And you were car parts too. Is that right?
Yeah. So how I started is really like telling my brother what to do in the beginning was we were doing Craigslist. I was selling car parts. Then we went to eBay, and I was selling like anything that I could because it snowed and I didn't want to do Craigslist anymore. Then we found out about Amazon, and like every time we moved to a new thing, it was like whatever position or job that I didn't want to do, I was like, oh, Nathaniel can do that. I don't want to do returns. Nathaniel can do that. I don't want to take pictures and make listings. Nathaniel can do that.
Because he's your younger brother.
It was a perfect business for me.
I would say I am bigger in stature, but he's 10 years older than me, so he kind of got to bully me around.
Right.
It worked out wonderfully. At the time where your auction was coming, I think we were having a little bit of like a focus problem because we were doing OA, online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, just reselling a lot of things, getting into wholesale. Selling a ton of stuff. It was all coming to the house, and then me, Nathaniel, my mom, and my wife would all box it up, set it out, do all the orders, and it was a lot of work. I don't think it was a good fit for us. So we had a bit of a
use our skills. Really, it was just like we can do this, but it's not like any of us were passionate about any part of this.
Yeah, Black Friday was kind of like the Last Supper. I always joke. It was like when we all sat down, we were like, we're just done. We were shopping all the time. Yeah. Just like, hey, we're hitting a wall. What is the next thing that we could possibly do? Private labels seemed to be a really good fit for me, so that's why we kind of dispersed. For a little bit.
Yeah, we took a break. We were all pretty upset at the business. Just we were doing things that we didn't want to, and to a capacity that was like ridiculous, because that's how Steven does everything. He just wants to go full force all the time. So it was just, we were all, I would say at that point, pretty burnt out and wanted a little bit of a break. So we all kind of went to different states to get away from each other.
So that was like the second start. The first start was just like reselling a bunch of stuff. Then the second start was me more focused on private label, building brands. Then Nathaniel learned about print on demand, and it was through Amazon. They had a certain service called Merch by Amazon, and he really gravitated towards that.
Yeah, that's my background, is in graphic design, self-taught, and just been doing that kind of out of passion and because I thought it was cool for a long time. And then seeing an opportunity with Merch by Amazon to take that and kind of create my own business. I was working at a screen printer when we kind of took our break from doing OA, RA, and all those things.
When they don't quit.
Yeah. So I was a little hesitant to go back into the Amazon world, but it seemed like Merch by Amazon would open up some pretty cool opportunities to use my skill and still sell on a platform that I knew my brother had a lot of knowledge as far as like data and all those things.
Yeah, we did a lot of full circles in this, but we actually reached back out to Ryan, and we're helping Ryan with his merch account, and then had a lot of success. And just, it was very interesting, like partnering up, finding multiple streams of income, which you talk about all the time. And at the beginning, I was like, I don't know how to do that. I just know how to work and resell stuff. But now with the relationships, I think that's really like the underlining piece of our business is partnerships, learning what we're good at, and then finding other people that have skills that we lack, and then partnering with them.
That's brilliant. You guys touched on a bunch of stuff there. So for some of you that are listening in here, no, it's okay. I'm taking notes, trying to figure out which way to go and bring this around to. But so you guys were doing RA and OA. So for those of you that are maybe new to this show, retail arbitrage and online arbitrage, they were finding stuff at stores and flipping it on Amazon. And that's an awesome business model, but they got burned out. It wasn't really what they wanted to do. And I know a lot of you guys can relate to that, because it is something, I love it because it's something that somebody can do without any experience, and you could do it with $0. You guys could go, what's cool about this model is if you guys just found yourself homeless tomorrow and you needed money badly, you know that you could partner up with somebody who has inventory and you know how to sell it online. So that is a skill that you're never going to unlearn. It's like riding a bike. You know how to do this stuff. You could start with $5, go to a garage sale, find something you could probably sell for $50 and flip that really quick. So that's an awesome skill set. And so that's why I point people that direction who don't really know what they want to do. They can jump into something like flipping physical products, selling physical products online, and make a serious income from it. You guys did that. You were doing it well, but then you just found out, this is not really what you're excited about. So you think, how can I take what I'm good at? Nate, for you, it was designing. You were already working for a screen printer. And how can I marry that with an online business? And you mentioned Amazon merch. So what is the merch program?
Before you touch on that, I just want to say, like, finding what you're good at is not an overnight thing.
No, that's true.
It took us 15 years to get to where Nathaniel quit, essentially, and then was working for another thing. So when we were doing Craigslist, it was multiple years. eBay was multiple years. Then Amazon was multiple years. It is now feeling like now we have a skill that we can go, this is our skill. So anybody that's starting, I just want to say, like, jump into something, get good at it, and then figure out if it is a good fit for you. Like Ryan said, I think OA and RA are really good skills to start with because it kind of gives you a foundation to jump off of. But it might not be a good fit for you. You might have to do it for a while, make some money, figuring out what you're good at, and then start piecing it together. But I think Nathaniel's story was very interesting in that, where he just did what I told him to do for many years, had a skill that he knew he was good at, but wasn't able to use it, and then had his own starting
point. Yeah, what about a minute and 15? Let's dig into Amazon merch in the next segment. But this is because you just said something that's really important, that you guys didn't listen, you didn't take a course and mull over it and then take action. You dove right into taking action. And I always say this, and it comes from my friend Mark Ross, he's an artist, and he did a painting called clarity. With action comes clarity. And so you guys both took action. You dove into something. You learned that this is not where you want to stay forever, you pivoted into other stuff, and you guys are constantly, seems like every time I talk to you, there's other things that you're working on. You're pivoting, figuring out what your sweet spot is, hiring out the things that you don't want to do. And that's awesome, because you're not just sitting around thinking, ooh, what's next? Let's take this course and then figure it out, and never taking action. I see so many people that take courses and read books and don't do anything with it because they don't know what. You guys just need to jump in, and that's what you guys have done.
Yes.
And that's awesome.
I would say the biggest thing is just take action, even though it seems crazy. To take action is the number one thing.
That's so good, guys. We'll dig into Amazon Merch in this next segment with Stephen and Nate Hibbert. Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income Radio Show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger. Grab my book, Streams of Income. It's free at streamsofincomeradio.com. We are talking with Stephen and Nate Hibbert, my friends, and guys, I've only known you for a couple of years now, but it seems like it's been a lot longer than that, because of just how many times we've met now, meeting up at conferences, working together on different projects. That's why I love your story of how a relationship, you might look at what you've done and think, it's a lot because of meeting me, but I look at some of the stuff I've done with you and think it's also likewise. Like if I hadn't met you guys, some of the stuff we're doing wouldn't have happened. And so it's just, God is good, and it made, brought along the right people in my business for sure. And I'm grateful for you guys for, being there and doing what you do. So we kind of ended the last segment and mentioned print on demand, Amazon's merch program. Nate, why don't you talk about your story, because you're a designer, and talk about how you were working at a screen printing company, how you found this merch platform, and how that's blossomed into what you guys are doing now.
Yeah, so graphic design is definitely my passion. Like we just talked about, doing all that stuff, the thing that I'm
glad you went that route instead of Nathaniel start working with Steven and hated it, and he wanted to do his own thing.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
While working with Steven, always the thing that I went back to was graphic design. It was just something I enjoyed. Like I said, I was self-taught. It was always just what I was putting time and effort into.
Sure.
That eventually led to me getting a full-time job, which kind of cemented the fact that I could call myself a graphic designer. So that was good. But while working at that job, it seemed a little silly to me. I think because I had worked from home for so long that I had to like go to a building and work on their computer. I was like, I have the same programs at home. Like I have the internet at home. We can do all this. We're already sending emails to each other. We're like in the next room. So that was always kind of like my gripe with the job. And I had brought it up to them, and they let me work from home a couple of days, but it didn't work out the way that I wanted to. So I started looking for other things, and I came across Merch by Amazon, or MBA as it's better known. And basically what that is it's a partnership with Amazon, where they use technology, new printing technology that's called DTG, or direct to garment printing. And these are just basically big machines, kind of like your at-home printer that can print back and forth instead of the traditional screen printing way. And what that allows you to do is print things on demand. So I can create a design, I can submit it to Amazon, and if a customer sees that design on their website and actually purchases it, then Amazon prints that t-shirt or whatever product it is, and will ship it to that customer. So
and how much does that program cost?
$0. $3.99, as we like to say.
Free 99?
Yeah, which is incredible, because the machines that they've purchased are like by themselves like $250,000, and then the warehouses that they're putting them in, the infrastructure that they have built for all the shipping, the customer service that they provide, which is a huge thing that I'm glad that I don't have to deal with angry eBay customers anymore.
Right.
So they've really just built this multi-million-dollar business, and you can tap into it for free by creating an account with Merch by Amazon. There isn't what's the word I'm looking for? Approval process that you have to go through to get an account, but you submit for it, you wait a couple of weeks, and then you have basically access to a multi-million-dollar business that you just have to provide a few things for. And obviously there's a lot of learning and lessons that we've learned along the way working with Amazon. But yeah, it is an amazing thing that allowed me to go from just working at a screen printer company from 9 to 5, and I treated that side hustle like a second job. So I would work my 8 hours at the screen printer, and then I would come home and work another 8 hours trying to figure out this Merch by Amazon thing, or print on demand in general. And so it was truly a blessing. Thank you, Amazon, for providing such an awesome service. But it was a lot of work to get to where we are now. Like, it is technically the same thing I was doing at my screen printing job, which was creating designs, but it's for a completely different customer base. And you don't get a ton of information on those customers. So you kind of got to figure it out as you're going forward. And like you said in the last segment, just taking action and moving forward is going to be the best teacher or the best way to learn those lessons. Just kind of jumping into it, especially because it is free.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think print on demand is a very new term, but we are doing the licensing side of the deal. Essentially, we are providing the art, the keywords, the asset to Amazon, and then they have the t-shirts, whatever else product that they're going to print on, and the ability to print it and ship it. So we don't handle any of the logistics side of it. That's the amazing part. I think with merch or just print on demand, if you want to get into the business, that's the best place to start, because you can earn as you learn. It does not cost you anything to have an account. It does not cost you anything to make listings, which on Amazon seems mind-bending, but it's a perfect way to get into the business with no money and start earning some money so that you can go into other aspects of the business, like partnerships, like OA, RA, anything else that you would want to go.
You guys have just blown people's minds. So let me back up and explain again. Like, so guys, the old model. So imagine, Nate's a designer, a graphic designer. So he wants to print some t-shirts. He's going to have to create a design, and he's going to have to go to a screen printer. Fortunately, he worked for one. But he would have to he'd have to grab those t-shirts. So let's say he wants to test them out. He'd have to print, let's say he prints 20 of them. What sizes do you need? Well, let's see. Most people are probably going to be large. So let's do 10 large, 3 small, 3 medium, and 4 XLs or whatever. Maybe that adds up to 20. Now you got to sell them. Where are you going to sell them? Well, let's create a website and let's put them up on the website and hope people buy them. No, not anymore. With Amazon merch and all these other programs, you can literally I have a really cool idea for design. Maybe it's just a single word, because wordy t-shirts work now. Maybe it's a Bible verse. Maybe it's a saying. Whatever it is, you can test it out. You don't have to buy any inventory. You don't have to buy any t-shirts. You literally upload a PNG file. And if you don't know what that is, don't worry about. There's people that can help you with this. You upload it. It's live on Amazon.com. I can then go search for your shirt. So let's say that your shirt is, you guys always use the cats as an example. So let's say I'm a cat lover and I type in that I want a cat t-shirt. Your design could pop up in that, when I type in that description, and I buy your shirt. Okay. Do you guys have to physically then take a t-shirt, put it on a printer, print it out? No, Amazon does that. Amazon will get somebody in some factory somewhere is grabbing a t-shirt, putting it on, and maybe even that's automated. I don't know, but it gets printed, and then they mail that one to me in my exact size. The beauty of this is, think of all the businesses, all the churches, think of youth groups who go on missions trips and get t-shirts. And they have to then say, okay, well, what size are you? What size are you? And they have an order form, and they have to go to a local printer. You guys don't have to do that anymore. There's a whole business model that could sprout up, that people in our community, we know some of these folks that are doing this. They're going to businesses and ministries and saying, we can do print on demand t-shirts for you. And you're leveraging Amazon and their massive infrastructure, and you got to build in business where you can go to people and say, I'll do print on demand. You don't have to order 500. You don't have to order any. You just hand out a link to everybody that wants a shirt, and we can split the profit. So
yeah, what you talked about is a huge opportunity. There's a pretty big gap in the market, because most of the time when you go to where Nathaniel used to work, they're minimum quantity orders. And there's a lot of people that don't want to order 30, 40, 50 shirts.
Right.
You can provide that service for them. It's very easy for you to get that design onto Amazon site, and then they can order them. You can send the link to the community or the congregation at church. That's a big way, or a really good way that we started, was going to those churches, events, missions trips, and then just offering them, hey, you don't know the sizing, you don't want to have more shirts packed up in that back room.
Right.
There's a way that we can avoid all of that, and then just talking to them and offering them that as a service.
I'm going to clip you guys talking about that, because basically the last 2 years I've traveled doing that same exact sales pitch, or just educating people of what print on demand is and the power that it has. So going to a ton of different churches, because this is not a inventory-based business where I have to have a physical location and ship these things out, I have been able to travel with just my little...
jealous now.
Yeah. Trying to tell what's possible. So I've been able to travel with just my laptop and road trip basically the United States twice over the last 2 years.
He went to Alaska on a phone call. He was like, I'm thinking about going to Alaska, bro. I was like, wait, there's no internet up there. How are we going to work? He's like, we'll figure it out. And then he just left. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, that's how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
All right.
And so giving that same, education to people of this is what print on demand is, and this is why it can help your business or your church or whatever do fundraising. Like there's so many opportunities in
oh my gosh, yes.
This industry.
Yes. So guys, if you listen to this show and you're like, you know what, I don't really see myself going around to all the Walmarts in my town and doing retail arbitrage. I don't want to get online and search for products or do private label or wholesale. That is totally okay. Yeah, you want to avoid Black Friday like it's the plague. I get it. This is a whole other business model that you can do, and it does not require a single bit of inventory. If you can talk to people, if you are comfortable saying, hey, do you need shirts? I can do them. Print on demand. I'll do them for you. You don't have to have, like Stephen, you said, you don't have to order a bunch of them. You don't have to order any at all, it's a built-in business model that literally anybody can do. If you know a business or a ministry or church, whatever, that needs shirts, you can provide that for them, and you can make money doing this. And we'll get into what that can become in the next segment. So guys, we'll be back more with more of Stephen and Nate Hibbert here on the Streams of Income radio show. Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger. Go to streamsofincomeradio.com to get my book for free. It's also called Streams of Income, and you can listen to all the past episodes. This is episode number 17 now. So it's fairly new, but I'm surprised we've got that many already. It's gone so fast. I've got so many really good guests. And now we're talking with my buddies, Stephen and Nate Hibbert. We've touched on their business model, their story, and we hit on Amazon Merch, a print-on-demand platform where you can literally upload a design. Oh, and the cool thing is some of you might be thinking, no, I'm not a designer, and that is me for sure. Definitely not even close to, that's not my skill set at all. Well, there are lots of people out there with skills like Nate who you can hire. So if you have an idea for a design, you can go to them and say, hey, you do it for me, and then you upload the shirt. And you can even say, I just want to order 100 designs. And there are people that will do that for you. We can talk about that, guys, if you want to. But let's talk about, it's not just Amazon Merch. That you said that was a good place to get started. But talk about print on demand overall, because it's not just t-shirts.
Yeah, I guess I'll jump back in. When Nathaniel started doing this, he started having some success. It was very spotty. He is a designer at heart. I am more the analytics and like the keyword side of the business. Mm-hmm. He, I think, was just shooting in the dark, getting started, taking action, massive action, having some success, but it wasn't consistent. He asked me to look at what he was doing. I, at the time, was doing private label. I was like, I don't have time for this. I got other better things to do. But he had an idea, went to work, came home, put the idea up, and had sales within 24 hours. And that's when I was like, let's spend a little bit more time on this, because that's fascinating. Like, not the fact that it sold once, but it sold like a couple of times in a day. With just an idea off the top of his head. If you've sold online, you know that it takes time. You got to go purchase the thing. You got to get it in. If you're doing this shipping yourself, you got to set everything up and do the shipping, or you got to ship it into Amazon. It just takes time. And with private label, the fastest I was able to do anything was like a month turnaround. I was like, oh, I'm crushing it. If I can do that, I can do 12 new products every year.
Right.
And then when Nathaniel had that success, I was like, we need to think about this a little differently. Like,
oh, and real quick, let's talk about, so people might be thinking, well, no big deal if I'm making 10 cents a shirt. What would be, and I know you can price it wherever you want to, pretty much. I know there's limits and minimums, but talk about where most shirts are real quick, what the average profit on a shirt would be.
I would say $5 for merch, correct?
Yeah.
The pricing changes every once in a while. Merch now offers more than just shirts, which is why I think we really went into POD, because there's a lot more products. Mm-hmm. But after Nathaniel had that success and I started looking at his account, we started working a lot more closely together. So instead of me telling Nathaniel what to do, we started really working together, where it was like he had ideas, then I would help him with the keywords, and we would like better figure out how to launch these products, and then start having a lot more success, consistent success, where we could actually scale the business. But after that, I was like, hey, this is great. We're selling a lot of shirts, but what else is this print on demand thing? And then Nathaniel started breaking it down. It's pretty much anything that you can go to what are those companies called where they print your
promotional company?
Promotional companies. Pretty much any promotional company product is a print on demand product.
Yeah.
There's a company now that will offer that as a print on demand. So you can come up with a design and sell it on pens, water bottles, hats, shirts, any particle of clothing. Pretty much anything that's like behind you. You can do books, the clocks, the frames.
Wow.
It's almost limitless now, the amount of products. So we would take interesting niches that we were going after as far as shirts and then building POD product lines. That way we'd have no inventory and we could just test the market. Is this cat idea a good idea on more than just shirts? And then finding that it was, and it's very successful. We've grown a lot more now. So it's not only on Amazon, we're actually going off of Amazon and building brands around that.
Yeah, because you said something here. So this is powerful, and you didn't quite say it, but you did say it all without saying it. Is that so, Nate? You're an awesome designer, but you can have the most gorgeous design in the world. If people don't know how to find it on Amazon, it's not going to sell a single time. And so you have to have keywords associated with that design that people on Amazon are typing in. And so that's how you guys worked so well together, because Stephen, you're the analytical side, thinking about keywords and what people are typing in. And Nate, you're over here doing the creative stuff and making these beautiful designs. And so guys, this is the power of it. It comes down to the keywords. And so once they find, so let's say they always use the example on their webinars, Taco Cat. So let's say, I guess that's a popular thing. I don't know why, but Taco Cat is a keyword that's trending. You can go online and find shirts with Taco Cat on them. Think about, okay, it's selling on t-shirts. What else might my customer be interested in? Do you think somebody who loves tacos and cats together would be interested in it on a mug or on a pin or on a hat or on a backpack? Possibly, yes. And so these guys are then building out that whole niche. Once they find a popular keyword that's working on the shirts, and then, well, what else could it work on? And that's what you guys are doing. And it's so stinking powerful. So Nate, go into what we chatted about on the break.
Just that this is like kind of the tip of the iceberg.
It is.
For print on demand. We've talked about these products and selling on Amazon, but like Stephen started saying, like we're doing this now in a much higher capacity of not just apparel, but a bunch of other products, and not just on Amazon, but actually our own websites.
But it's because, and this is what's beautiful about this, that you were able to test it on Amazon for free. And so guys, what that's cool about is they didn't have to think, oh, well, you know what, let's think of Taco Cat. Let's put up a beautiful website, our own website at our own expense, and I hope that this works. They tested it out on Amazon. They proved the concept. And now they're thinking, okay, this is working. Let's build a whole website around Taco Cat or whatever else seems to be working. But they were able to test it out for free. And they're always testing new ideas.
Yeah, that's probably a powerful thing to touch on, is that I did start print on demand with $0 invested. This was just a complete idea. I applied for the account. I got into it. And now we have scaled up to this point where we're able to do, awesome things like partnering up with some pretty big brands and providing websites for them that they're driving a ton of traffic to. They have, products that are pretty wild on there that, aren't just regular t-shirts that you're printing in like just this print space. So there's a lot of cool things that can develop from this. And that was kind of, the heart of why I started print on demand, or really the first success that I had was partnering up with like churches and nonprofits in my area. And now we're doing that same thing, even though we've expanded the business so much. But now instead of just, hey, we can get you shirts on Amazon, it's, hey, let's build out products that are actually useful for your community and build you a website where you can host all that stuff and you are in full control of, the messaging that's set over there. You can drive people certain other places. You can ask for donations. You can do all these crazy things on the backbone of Shopify that we're using to create these websites. And
you're doing that because you already know that audience is going to purchase. So for example, you come up with a Taco Cat design, you're hoping that people find it and buy it. With going to a church, you know that, hey, if they're helping you design that shirt and they're going on a mission trip next summer, you automatically are going to have 100 different sales of that one product. So, going in, it's going to be worth your time. Plus, a lot of times, guys, you guys know this, you can charge a setup fee for all of your time involved in getting that essentially set up. And all you got to do is upload it to Amazon, to Merch, their platform. But then now you're also talking about building a website for that church, and you could totally do that too.
Yeah, people with audiences. We love working with people with audiences. It seems like being a influencer takes a lot of time, and then to monetize that, most of that is going towards affiliate links.
Yes.
We feel like there's a better option. I think that's why I'm so excited about next year, because we are partnering up with Ryan again. Anytime I get to work with Ryan, I get excited. But I don't know if you want to talk about the agency or have us talk about this agency, but that idea was fascinating to me. And I think it's been a crazy year for us. Speaking, teaching, none of that stuff is really in the cards. We always like to be the behind the scenes. We had an opportunity, thanks to Brian, to go and do some speaking engagements. Then we traveled a whole bunch. Teaching was something that we enjoyed and loved, but I think we're dialing it back a little bit and working more with individuals that have ideas that we can help them build their business, because I kind of feel like that's the core of what we're good at. We are good at the data, that they know is good at the designs, and that building the sites. That's something that can go back to all of our years of experience more than the teaching, which I enjoy, but it's a lot of travel.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
I don't know how much time we have left in this segment.
We got a minute and a half in this segment.
Okay. Well, very quickly, I just wanted to give a bigger picture of what me and Stephen do. We kind of have 3 branches of our business now. The branch that I'm excited about and what I'm putting most of my time into is the client stuff. So going out, finding people who can find our services useful and making sure that they have something custom fit for them that's going to work for their audience. We have, our personal business that we're running of, actually selling these products, of running the print on demand business, where we have people actually working underneath us. So it's not just me doing the designs anymore. We have a full team that's creating designs, and Stephen has a team of people finding places that we want to put these designs. And then the last branch that we kind of have is what Stephen's talking about, which is like consulting and working with people one-on-one to see what these opportunities look like. Even if you don't have an audience, how can you make this business model work for you? So those are kind of the 3 places that we're putting our time. And I think it's so beautiful because we get to do things that we're passionate about and use our skills where we see applicable. Like, I still help Stephen on a daily basis. He still helps me on a daily basis. But I'm kind of in charge of the client work and what that looks like, and get excited about work every day as I'm going and doing it wherever I'm opening up my laptop that day. So
right. Guys, we're going to dig into this. You mentioned a couple things, and we got a couple things we want to share of how, if you're sitting listening to this and you're like, I don't know what to do with it. Maybe you have a merch account and you have no clue what to do with it. We have an option for you. And also this agency idea of working with influencers and people have audiences. We'll touch on that in the next segment. So guys, we'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger, and we're chatting print on demand. We're chatting Amazon's merch platform where you can upload t-shirt designs and make there's people making full-time money doing just this. So we're running some numbers in the break. And so I'm trying to be very conservative. If you had 5 t-shirt designs, guys, that were sold once a day and your profit was $5, you said $5 is about the average of a profit on Amazon Merch's platform. So 5 times 5 is $25 a day profit times 30 days, $750 a month on just those 5 designs. You guys know my merch account. I don't do anything with it. You guys got me started with that, and that thing is still going. I make between $300 and $400 a month, and I do not even touch it. Now, I know eventually it might just go down to nothing if I don't do anything to it or don't keep adding designs. I don't know. Maybe it'll keep going forever like that. That'd be great. But if I put just a little bit of effort behind it, I know I could expand that. But $750 a month, being very conservative if you just had 5 designs. But Stephen, you were talking about how during the holiday season, you find a shirt that sells really well.
Yeah, you can almost make that in a week off of one shirt. We had some Thanksgiving Day shirts, the turkey drop and turkey trap that were very popular for us. And each one of those shirts was making about $7,000 to $1,000 a day per shirt, or not a day, a week per shirt. So
$700 to $1,000 profit per shirt. Okay, and those shirts, you had to print them out yourself and ship them out to your customers, right?
Yeah, all all of those orders before, especially when I was doing Craigslist, when it gave me a heart attack. But now it's almost we just see the emails that come in, or we check our account and see, oh, this is how many we did in a day. We don't have to ship any of that stuff. That's why I love it. That's why we have this empty warehouse background. My wife used to yell at me all the time when I'd pack up the house. You couldn't even see in our windows. But now we don't have any inventory on hand. I think that is the biggest benefit to me. And Athenos is probably the customer service.
I hated doing customer service. But I just think what Ryan said is like so true. Like once that, like his account has just been running in the background, right? I'm sure he doesn't open it every day and is worried about this thing and making sure the orders are going out. Like, it's kind of a stress-free environment. Steven joked about it, but when I took a month and just went to Alaska, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, now Steven has to fulfill all the orders that are coming in my account. It's just, you know, it keeps on running.
Yeah, I just have to deal with the art team. That's the part where I was like, I don't want to do this. I can, but I don't enjoy that part of the business.
Yeah. And I know, guys, there's a lot of you that are listening to this, and especially if you're Amazon sellers. And I know there was a push, a year or two ago about go get a merch account. It's free to sign up. And a lot of you did. Congratulations. But then you did nothing with it. I understand because you're busy doing things right now in your business that's bringing in you income. You're doing the RA or the OA or private label or wholesale, and that's working for you. That's awesome. You know you have this asset of Amazon merch and you don't have the time or the know-how to do it. Well, we know that, and it's because we listen to customers, we listen to people, we listen to other Amazon sellers, we talk to them. And so we decided to come out with essentially we call it a merch in a box type of program where, and there'll be more details. We're just doing a beta test of it right now with about 4 different friends of ours, where we will run your merch account for you, offer you these design packs that Nate and his team have come up with that you could literally, all you got to do is upload them. And then we're going to then offer the service where we'll go in and look at your account for you and tweak those listings. So a lot of times it might need just a title change or a description change or change in the bullet points, and then it starts to make sales. We'll monitor that. And then if it still doesn't sell, then we're going to get you a new design. And so there'll be an ongoing service plan and all that we can offer. And we'll have more details on that when it's all firmed up. But we're excited about this because we know there's a lot of folks that are in this boat that you have a merch account and it's just sitting there and it's not doing anything for you. And you want that passive income. And this is truly passive income. Now it takes work at the front, but you can hire us to do that for you. So anything else on that program we want to chat about?
No, and I'm excited about it because I think the way that we're doing the packs are niche specific. So if you have that niche that's working, you can sell more than just shirts.
Right.
Ryan was calling it a merch in a box, but they are really assets. You're getting keywords, you're getting the way that the customers are searching, you're getting your competitors in that space, and you're getting designs. So it's almost like we're giving you a whole bunch of niche research that you can then use.
And then we're going to also show you. So those keywords essentially are valuable. You could take that and then go off on your own on your own site and create. If Taco Cat was one of them, and you're like, wow, this is working on shirts. I've sold 5 of them today. Let's create a site on it. With that, you could blow up a whole site with all these different Taco Cat type of products. Eventually we might even be able to help people with that too, of like, hey, we got you a good one. Now let's just build that site for you. I imagine we can work something out like that too. Steven, you mentioned influencers and how they're always sent, and my wife is on Instagram all the time. She's watching, especially now where it's Black Friday weekend. And there's all these sales going, and these girls are providing a great service because they alert, their audience of all these cool sales and cool things. And, my wife is one of them that will look at them and buy those products. But those influencers are sending people to other people's stores, maybe to Amazon, for example. And we have an Amazon Associates account. You guys know what that's like. It's 4% maybe that they make on something. Why don't you have your own products? And so we decided there are people with audiences already that need to be having their own products. And we want to partner with folks like that. Doesn't have to be Instagram influencers. We're working right now with a buddy of ours who does travel for missions travel. So if you have a youth group that wants to take a trip, helping them build out their suite of products. You guys want to touch on that at all and why you're so excited about that?
Yeah, with Chris, our friend, it's very interesting because he has an audience and he's doing something that we are passionate about, which is missions.
Yep.
Any kind of Christian-based business that we go kind of all in on. But I think the influencers like Chris, they're almost like air traffic controlmen. Like they're driving large amounts of traffic and then just almost like charging a fee, but they're getting paid very little. It used to be influencers and affiliate marketing was huge. Now I think the market might be saturated. I'm not quite sure. That's not a business model I've gone into, but it seemed obvious to us that it was, why don't they just drive it to their own site? And then they can make way larger profits than the 4%, 2% that they're making. The problem is it takes a lot of time to run a business, especially if you're going to be doing influencers. Why can't we provide that back-end service? Because that's what we like to do. We can build the sites. We can do all the other parts of the business. We can run the copy. We can run the marketing. And then they can just do what they're good at. And then we can provide the backup service for them. I mean, that's kind of why the name Wingman came about, because we always like to be on your six. We will help you. We'll follow you wherever you need to go, but we don't want to lead the charge. We really love helping people. And I think that after you brought that idea to me, it was like a perfect fit for us. Yeah. And I'm ready to go all in on that next year.
Yeah. I'm glad that we're partnering up with you guys on that. So guys, if you're an influencer, you have a following on Instagram, or you just have an audience already, and you need to be offering your own products, your own, you're pointing people to affiliate links, essentially, where you're making 4%, let us know. I mean, send me an email, Ryan@RyanRieger.com. Happy to chat with you about what that could look like moving forward. We essentially could help, think of somebody who is, for example, I know somebody who is always pitching a pair of house slippers that are really comfortable on Amazon that she loves. And Melaine came up to me one time and says, you know what, that's just an Amazon product. That should be her own. I'm like, I totally agree with you. I mean, think of how much more income she could generate for her family if she was sending people to her own brand of house slippers. And we could totally partner up with somebody like that and make that happen. Because we know suppliers, we know how to get products in, we know how to do branding.
On and off Amazon, like the opportunities
absolutely
are limitless.
It really is limitless. And so once you have, and the cool thing is they already have the audience. So you just partner with somebody like that, and it's going to sell because they're going to be pitching it, and like they always are. And, you even get your audience involved with it. Like, hey, I'm coming up with this new product. You help me come up with this. What should it be? These types of house slippers or these types? And the audience is going to be all excited because, this lady's coming out with her new brand, and, but most of those folks just don't know how to do that, or they're so busy doing what they do best already. They don't have time to think about, oh, let's come up with our own line of products. And it's not that difficult, honestly. When we do it all the time and we teach people how to do it all the time, why not marry the two and, help somebody build another stream of income? So
the base of our business is relationships.
It is.
That's another piece.
And helping people get away from the stress of doing things kind of the traditional way. Print on demand just offers so many solutions, and
it does
relieve some stress on things. That's definitely one thing that I push into. Is like, you don't want to, send kids home with order forms and then have them come back with money.
You don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, just send them to this link. We'll handle all the back end things.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic.
So that was a major step in our business, was Nathaniel solving that problem for
some coaches,
schools and coaches. Was the order form was like that piece that everybody's like,
frustrating. I remember doing that as a kid.
Problem.
Crazy. So guys, this has been awesome. Thanks for being on with me. We'll chat with you guys again, because there's so much here that we could unpack. So guys, thanks for joining me. Thanks for listening, all of you. This is Ryan Rieger with Streams of Income. We'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks, Ryan.